And this morning, the Budweiser on top, but they won't be racing, as we mentioned. American Speedy Printing in second place. Now, the drivers for Heat 1A. For the U40, Scott Pierce out of Seattle, 29-year-old former Rookie of the Year. Ron Snyder with the American Speedy Printing, one of the most consistent and popular holes in the business. Milner Irvin with the Miss Renault in their second year of campaigning in the Unlimiteds. And the Tosti Asti with Steve Reynolds, the top qualifier here in Syracuse on Onondaga Lake. And here they are now for 1A. The Tosti Asti, as I said, at 139 plus with the Renault. The U40 with Scott Pierce on American Speedy Printing at 120. And keep in mind now, this is a 2.5-mile course here in Syracuse. And here we go with Heat 1A. In lane number 2 with a great start, as you can see, it is Ron Snyder, the American Speedy Printing, the U40, and then on the outside, the Miss Tosti Asti with Steve Reynolds as they head down now the main chute in Onondaga Lake in Syracuse, New York. On the way outside, the Tosti Asti bouncing around a little bit, but on the inside, Ron Snyder with great position in that remarkable hole that's been around a long time, the American Speedy Printing. Great cornering, though, however, by the Miss Tosti Asti and Reynolds. It is one of the best cornering boats in the business. There's your first place boat, Ron Snyder and the American Speedy Printing. But look who's coming around, knocking on the door on the outside. Steve Reynolds, and there's a deck-to-deck race down the back chute here on lap number 1 in Syracuse, New York. A wonderful race between Ron Snyder, the veteran, and Steve Reynolds, who's been around for a number of years as well, with one of his hottest rides in his career with the Unlimited. Ron Snyder against Steve Reynolds. American Speedy Printing against the Tosti Asti. The Tosti going the outside route. Snyder staying on the inside now as they come around the south turn on these rather choppy waters here in the early going. Heat 1A in Syracuse, New York. Snyder with a great turn, forcing Reynolds to go a little bit wide as they complete lap number 1. Third place, the Renault. And Tosti Asti accelerating beautifully down the chute. Speed 126 miles per hour for the Tosti. There's the U40 with Scotty Pierce. Now they come back down into that north turn. This is the enclosed part of the race. Race course, that is, where sometimes the waves can bounce off. A canal close to here that goes down to the Erie Canal. But the Miss Tosti Asti in the meantime, not worried about that as he goes down the back chute. Reynolds, they didn't get to run very well at all down in Miami with the salt water, creating all sorts of problems. Looks like Milner Irvin has some problems, too, with his engine, that being a turbocharged Allison. He turns on to the infield, as a matter of fact. So it appears that Milner Irvin in the Renault is out of Heat 1A. You see Scott Pierce going by in the U40, taking over in third place. Steve Reynolds out of Kirkland, Washington, and the Seattle-based Tosti Asti, owned by Steve Woomer in his first year of ownership in the Unlimited Hydroplane circuit. Steve Reynolds, who has for a long time waited for a hot rocket to ride. He had the Circus years ago. That was a wonderful boat, very fast boat. But now he's on a beautiful, beautiful rocket. This is the turbine-powered Miss Tosti Asti. Second place, Ron Snyder, American Speedy Printing. And third place, Scott Pierce on the U40, based out of Seattle. Scott Pierce, 29 years of age. He was Rookie of the Year back in 1981. Steve Reynolds, of course, this used to be the backup boat for the Pay and Pack crew owned by Dave Herensberger. It never touched a drop of water until it got into the circuit this year, and it has come out and proven itself as being a very, very fast boat, and it'll give the Budweiser lots of problems as well as the Squires shop during the 1984 season. Scott Pierce bouncing along that south turn, coming around, completing his second lap. Nice shot now as you see the leader. Steve Reynolds coming around now the turn, completing his third lap. Speeds now. He's settling down a little bit now, down to about 124. Well, that's not all that slow, to tell you the truth. It handles so well. You can see there as you watch the sponsors ride along that water. Another great riding boat. Ron Snyder, the American Speedy Printing. This boat like a rocket and rides like a rock as far as over these turbulent waters here in Onondaga Lake and Syracuse, New York. Scott Pierce and the U40. An all-aluminum boat designed in Seattle. And, of course, this boat designed by Jim Lucero out of Seattle. He also built it as well in his Kent shop down near Seattle, Washington. Steve Reynolds coming around the turn now and about to complete Heat 1A. Ron Snyder doing very well as usual on that turbocharged Allison. That boat, one of the winningest in the business, and has been around quite a while. We can remember when it was the Pay and Pack and the Atlas Band lines. And back to Reynolds, who's coasting along, has yet to pick up any points. As you see Scott Pierce, Tosti Asti getting no points last week in Miami. He could pick up 400 here if he completes Heat 1A. and gets the victory. It would be 400 for him and 225 for that boat, who's in third place right now. Scott Pearson, the U40, going along, running pretty well. That's Merlin Powered. And back to Reynolds in the Tosti Asti. As we said, Steve Woomer is the owner, based out of Kent, Washington. A first-time owner, but he's adding a lot of spirit to the hydroplane circuit. Very competitive man and wants to win, and of course that's what they like to see in the unlimited hydroplane business. Great combination of the Tosti Asti Company and of course Steve Woomer, and Steve Reynolds driving it here. Steve Reynolds picking up Heat 1A victory, second place going to American Speedy Printing, and 300 points to Ron Snyder. Officially, here are the numbers now. Tosti Asti getting its first points of the year. American Speedy Printing second. The U40 third. Renault, it did not finish. Let's go to Jim Hendrick down in the pits.
Don, I don't know if this is strategy or if they're comparing notes of what happened in their first heat of competition. Turn around, both of you guys. First of all, Milner Irwin from the Renault. What happened? You pulled in on lap number 2.
Jim, we lost the turbo mount, and the whole mount broke, and the turbos fell backwards and didn't have any boost, so it just went into an auto-rich situation and couldn't finish.
All right, what about the next heat? Ready?
Well, we're going to put another engine in there and go for that, yeah.
Okay, here's a guy that really battled. You have out in front there. I don't know what happened to that Speedy Printing. It was really going.
Well, Jim, you know, we got to make the final heat, and we're kind of lacking a little equipment down here.
You backed off purposely? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, we had to set a little rich because we didn't want to burn anything, and sitting in the back seat, I got all the fuel back here, so yeah, I backed off to keep from getting so damn much fuel in my nose and breathing it, and
all right, so second place, if you can finish fine this next time out, we'll set you up for the final. That's the strategy?
Right, the final heat's the only one that counts anyway, so
okay.
Just watch for us in the final heat.
That's the story from the pits. Back up to you, Don.
All right, Jim, this is the first ever race in Syracuse for the Unlimiteds, and they came in all shapes and sizes to watch. We'll be right back.